Manual for shedding. I'm running, I'm running, I'm running. Just 2 feet and a heartbeat. 10 steps to build a home. 1, foundation. 2, fill it with bricks. 3, and things that look like memories. 4 to 6, live there often. Breathe it in. 7, keep it safe. Somewhere in your ventricles. 8, let it move through you. 9, like beat. 10, repeat. 1, foundation. 2, fill it with bricks. 3, and things that look like memories. Age 5, you burnt the scriptures and ate the house. Your appetite became a box. At 7, you wrought bedroom window bars to weaponize tanks. Genocidal dreams. 9, you decimated living rooms, trapped gas. You don't know home as an open door, only as deficit. Memories, you say, are council bricks. Don't seek to keep them. Mortar tears gentrify your face and crash to your palms. I read bullets in the lanes, trigger scars on the fingers, pins hang from thumbs. This map you give me is your charred path. Your city, your kingdom. How can I not love you? I have to. I'll get punished if I go against you. I follow every law you set. I followed you into war, and again, you will lead me into another again. You are 6 things worth setting fire to. Hair, skin, sky, tongues, nails, fire. 4 to 6. Live there often. Breathe it in. 7. Keep it safe. I'm running, I'm running, I'm running. Just 2 feet and a heartbeat. This is how you meet home. 8, somewhere in your ventricles. Granny's trees hang upside down, holding on to one another. Strong leaves tickling the blood breeze of eons. Beat you into living, breathing through her headaches, her aging skin, clutching unwashed fruit picked. Am I as sweet as my grandmother tells me? I think that she tells me. Human acacia, you taste like oceans and salt and scriptures and clouds and rain and earth and worms and roots and trees and leaves and wind and sky and sun and fire and ash and everything in between. Yet you still love with a tongue that is caught on goodbye. Never do as you're told. There is nothing I will tell you that you don't already know. You've been here before, she says. Always take advice. I have plenty to give you. Broaden perception. Encompass realities. You will know yourself in the human. You will know yourself in the whole. I'm running, I'm running, I'm running. Just 2 feet and a heartbeat. 8. Let it move through you. This is how we build our homes in the sky. In the air, we walk around naked. Show everyone our bare chests. Take off your chests. Find a new naked to walk around in. Peel layers of your heart like an orange. It sprays everywhere. Where do I live? In the biggest house in the universe. You must be rich. No. What do you eat? I eat all the good things people don't want. You must have a lot of choice. I've had periods, times in my life that define me. How I rose through a field of tears, struggled through thorns of deceptive peers, thoughts of the earth core crumbling, thoughts of corruption running. I'm running, peeling footsteps deep heels dig from the ground up, flood, skin rinsing, conditioning, shed, loss, lose, gain, again, shed, loss, lose, gain, again, shed, loss, lose, gain, again, searching and searching, looking and learning, I'm running like beat. Repeat. Hi everyone, so my name's Deanna Rodger, and I'm a poet, and that was a poem. Thanks. And this is a talk to try to demonstrate or suggest how we can rewrite and reimagine this world and ourselves within it. So that poem I just performed was written last week by myself and two other guys. So a guy called TEDxStHelier, and he is from South Africa, and a guy called Ali Gouliad, and he is from Cardiff. And we came together under one roof to reimagine home, to reimagine ourselves as creators, as poets, and to see what we could create with nothing. We didn't prep or anything, we just landed in a room with 7 other poets and created. So we, in that poem, we realized that in order to create, we have to shed. We have to get rid of a lot of things. Material things, imposed things, external things, and we have to see this entire universe as our home, not just a box with a postcode. When I first started writing this talk, I was nervous, obviously, and I decided to go back to where I started. So I decided to go back to the very first poem I ever wrote, and this was because it was the first time I had created a space for me to feel free. And so I'm going to share some of this poem with you. And it was written on the 11th of August, 2006, the day after my 17th birthday. And it was written in the dark of my room with a huge bruise of a cocoa on my head from a fight the night before. And it doesn't have a title, but if it did, it would be, Mum, I know I shouldn't have been there, but I swear it wasn't my fault. And it begins like this. I'm going to do some sections. My face is pulsing. By the looks I've been getting, it must look repulsing. She scratched me up good. I would go back and get her if I could. Then the middle bit goes like this. Visions of being underneath that truck, while kicks were being aimed and all I could do was duck. It weren't even my fault, you know. She just switched at me like a psycho, pushing me backwards, making me stumble, till eventually I fell down in a tumble. And it ends. My head hit the concrete, her foot hit my head. I ain't ending up dead. So I got up with my cranium so sore and booted her to the floor. And there she was, in the same position where I was moments before. The poem literally stops there, because I didn't know how to finish it. I didn't know what conclusion to give it. I didn't know. I just had to write it. And what it did was it created a space for me to imagine and reimagine what had happened the night before and make a decision as to which truth I wanted to tell. Tim, who I'd like to thank, because without him I wouldn't be here, and also apologize to you right now because I'm going to paraphrase a conversation that was really great, but we don't have time to go over it. But he taught me when we met in Brighton about this model called I Can Do That Here, which is a Robert Dilts model. And this suggests that you can change the individual by adapting the environment or vice versa. Think of broken window theory or Becker with self-fulfilling prophecy, Milgram's kind of theories of power, and it's broken down by each word. So here is environment. That is about behavior. Do is the capability, the responsibility. Can is about belief in that capability, and I is about me, myself, and I. So, why have I shared with you that first rubbish poem? That's so close to my heart. So the I, my face is pulsing. By the looks I've been getting, it must look repulsing. It's now 2007, right? And I'm in a war with myself. And the country is in a war, and the banks are in a war, and the media keep saying that the youth are in a war, so we are. Visions of being underneath that truck. And I am 4 weeks into a poetry term, and the mate who wanted to go to this has dropped out because it's not a rap lesson. That's fine, it's poetry. And I've stayed because they told me to write about fire, and I know how to write about fire. And they said, you can write what you like. And I like writing what I like. And they said, write yourself. And I just want to try and make sense of this world. While kicks were being aimed, and all I could do was duck. And why this world feels so unjust. It weren't even my fault, you know. She just switched at me like a psycho. Why, despite having so much freedom, I feel so trapped and caged and boxed and judged, and so I write. And I don't show anyone everything that I write, and I don't show anyone anything until I know it's what I want to say. And when I do, I hear myself addressing the world, and I hear myself as the protagonist, and I hear myself as the narrator and the editor and the director and the extras. And the piece that came from when I started exercising this right of my own narrative, of my own story, of not saying, oh, I must be repulsing because you're saying that I look repulsing, but actually saying, wait a second, what are you saying about me and how does that react with me? It's a piece that I called Becca, because I was learning about Becca in college. And he's a guy who spoke of this thing called self-fulfilling prophecy. And it's about labels that are placed on us from other people, which may not be true, and how we can sometimes take those labels into us and then become them. Should I be judged by the clothes that clothe my skin? Eyes focused on what's out, no thought of what's within, because see, a trackie means I'm on madness. I live below standards and I know no manners. Gonna come up in your face, curse, swear and scream, could have sworn on the good book that you saw the 9-inch gleam, because my fitted's on low. You can't see my eyes. Gets you prang, can't I witness because the face is disguised. These thoughts and feelings and emotions, opinions and observations, theories, ideas, stories, dialogue, anything that came into my brain long enough to make notes on, I would write them down. And these notes became footholds of my constructed reality, my reference points of perception. I began to understand how I was seeing this world and how other people were teaching me to see it. Pushing me backwards, making me stumble until I eventually fell down in a tumble. Poetry enabled me to write my world. So let's get back to this Dilts model. I can do that here. So do is about action, it's about permission, responsibility, capability. That is about behavior, and here is about the environment. Here, in 2015, is where I've seen an increase of homelessness, of depression, suicide, many, many, many things that don't make me feel very comfortable. My head hit the concrete, her foot hit my head. I ain't ending up dead. Spikes. The spikes are out tonight. A homeless cone clangs change into the sense of this UK city. I march past the public perch, built solid, concrete, slanted, purpose, semi-permanent. Sit here for a second, it says, slide here, don't stay. I walk past box office doors that extort bums to watch make-believe. Setting real spikes beneath backstage shelter to stop rough sleeping from dreaming for stool seats after the applause is done, after the makeup's wiped clean, after the staff have locked up cash threshold encompassed by 6 rich borough maps. The rain has lost its way. Landing on my lap as I'm sat on a bus stop bench by the closed tubes, trains, and I'm confused by this bus stop roof. Angled open wide, I'm staring up like, maybe the rain don't fall right. Maybe it's built wrong. Maybe it's the wind cuts, chucking nature's funding buckets over this defensive design. Tories' transient shelter of justice for those drafty drifters that roam the road for rights, begging pedestrians, scavenging scapegoats. Find time to forget them. Between the run home from work, from home to shop, from home, from friends to pub, to home to work. From debt, from bills to home, from head submerged in propaganda, in spy phones. No time to read the signs from ads marketing humanity from cold, calcified hands. The poem I shared at the beginning was the very first poem that I had ever written. It wasn't even a poem. Subconsciously, I had made a choice to articulate a role reversal, to take a brutal moment and to write choice into it. Without realizing it until last week, I realized that it represents the first time I had ever identified myself in a position of power. So I got up with my cranium so sore and booted her to the floor. And there she was, in the same position where I was moments before. This position of power comes with responsibility, comes with pain, comes with freedom. It comes with a choice to help someone up to that position of power. Writing anything has enabled me to do that. It's enabled me to take a grip on this world that moves so quickly and changes so much and has so many different reference points and points of perception. Here in this room, I'll share a theory, a radical theory, that we can create the here. We can create the environments which enable us to create ourselves. This can come from drawing, it can come from singing, sport, it can come from writing. For me, it's come from writing. But we have that power. We can recreate this environment by starting small, by starting with what we understand. On evenings when the rain is not far away and work is tomorrow too soon, there is a space for people like me and people like you. Speakers of this life, who know the power of sound, the voices of ideas, the word changers, stand-up manifestos, pen-marked graffiti, art-wrecking systems of entitlement, those modern-day arcs. And here you shall meet people like you and people like me, whose days are full of decisions made and worn like summer clothes in the rain. And here you can hear fabrications, tall tales for blooming laughs, and chatter of love as a wooden splintered chair. And here you can share with people like you and people like me your stories of ship's cargo and white van guests, of sunset spotlights, the stage and the dark, of how you would save this world, the earth, of your jagged thoughts like drowned rocks, of grey pigeons across oceans and ants on top of mountains and Coke can-wide cities and politics like clouds fluff-filled interpreted shapes. And here you can shush the noise of monopolized news. And here we will listen to your say, your words, your sound, your view. Thanks, guys.